We should.
I think so. I know that the chair's not here, but the vice chair did not mention whether she would be here or not. So we'll go ahead and establish quorum. Commissioners Claris,
Present.
Free,
Here.
Callback,
Here.
Richmond,
Here.
Whipple.
Yes, here.
So we have a quorum of 5. Would one of you like to lead us the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Sure.
Yeah,
Who's our most senior?
yeah,
I'm the oldest, if that means anything.
that matters.
Is that longest on the committee or oldest?
I was
Yeah.
thinking longest on the committee.
Oh, well, that-
Okay,
I don't know who that is. I'm the oldest. Okay, let's go.
okay.
I pledge allegiance
Allegiance
to the
to the
flag
flag
of the
of
United States of America, to the republic
Republic
For which it
for which it
stands,
stands,
one
one
nation,
nation,
under
indivisible,
God, indivisible, with liberty and
liberty and
justice
justice
for all.
for all.
Thank you. I don't think we have any members of the public on today, but we could accept public comment. I do not see any members of the public, so we'll move on to the agenda. So the first item is the approval of the minutes held on March 21st. Any comments, corrections?
Hey, John, I sent to you 2 super minor,
I got them.
non-controversial edits, I think. Just
I got those. Those are
purview instead of preview, and then I think some typos, but non-substantive.
Okay, nothing
With
for
those
me.
corrections, move approval.
Yep. Second,
So we'll take a vote on that. Commissioner Claris,
Approve.
Fry,
Yes.
Callback,
Yes.
Richmond,
Yes.
Whipple.
yes, approve.
The minutes approved, 5-0. We move on to the second point. So a couple of weeks ago, we had the IT subcommittee meet with us and with our vendor. And, I just want to open the floor to them to report to the full commission on what their observations were. I'm not sure which.
You want to start, Art?
Well, he's talking IT. Are you, I think we were the ones.
Are you
That's
talking
right.
about our Tyler Technologies meeting or an IT meeting?
Which,
Yeah, the technology meeting.
okay.
Okay.
So I'll start, I guess. We had only one meeting so far. We had a conversation over lunch with John for about an hour and 20 minutes, something like that. I think we both John Claris and I learned a fair amount about what the plans were, about what was going on, and I think John has convinced me, at least, that he needs to move forward and get this stuff done. But the time frame that I think I had assumed was way more aggressive than I thought. So I think we're really talking about something that's going to take through the end of next fiscal year, at least, to do significant amounts of this work. So we're not in we may be in a crisis because we aren't being able to get Central Square to do what we need to do, but we're not in a crisis for Tyler at the moment. Anything you want to add, John?
No, I think that summarizes it, that it's a full ERP package, and we're going to have to make Central Square work for at least a year, and that invites the question: how is our meetings with Central Square and the vice president that we have contact with? Are those moving forward?
Yes, and Commissioner Claris, we want to personally thank you for pushing that. We send out a laundry list to the gentleman, and we've been trying since December to get somebody to help us out. After he got that, we had someone who scheduled an appointment with us, I think late last week. June and a couple of accountants spent maybe 6 hours with them. I think June will. Can you speak to what went about with that?
You're on mute, June. There you go.
No,
There's sound coming, but it's not your voice.
it's a deep rumble sound.
Oh, no sound. It's a little better. The distance from the microphone, and there might be some background sound.
Okay.
Much
There.
It's
better.
okay.
There you
What
go.
about now? Okay. Using the kind of close to the monitors now. This is the monitor speaker. Yeah, we did send the emails were sent on April 3rd. So in 10 days, we get the training scheduled. So we spent a great deal of time talking to the specialist regarding the problem we have, and we'll have a list of the problem. So pretty much he explaining what was going on. And for us, but at the end, there is no result to solve any of the problems. Example,
Could you possibly send me a list of the problems that you can't get resolved? So
yes, I could. Of course, they have the report come out, and I think this is a twofold. One is on Central Square side, and also it's on our side as well. So it's mainly is from the system implementation, start that stage. What they imply is this, when we did implementation to switch up to the new version of the Central Square from IFAS, something, especially encumbrance side, it wasn't set up. So it's mainly causing now the hardship right now, because we don't know how much what we committed, what is our budget is remaining. That's the hardship we try to solve, and we don't have a solution.
what would be very helpful is if I could get an action item list, which would list what the issue is and some detail, because I now have a lot of contacts at Central Square, and they seem like they want to support us. So since we have to live with this for the next year, give me that action item list and I'll bounce it off my new best friend. And we'll see if we can't get these things resolved.
Great, yes. Okay, I will do. But the great thing is we did get training scheduled within 10 days after, past 4 months and for no result. That was a big improvement. Thank you so much. Yes.
That's good.
And
Okay.
then do you want to update the commission on how you found the Tyler system that we looked at?
Me?
No,
You're talking
the subcommittee.
Well, I think it was obviously very complete. So we did have, I lied a few minutes ago. We did have 2 sessions. We had a session with Tyler where they went through the entire package. It was probably more detail than John Claris or I needed to do that. It appears to be, basically everything you could want in an ERP system, from payroll to general ledger to AP to asset maintenance to, it's all of it. But that implies that the entire city is going to be getting into that at some point. So I think it's a bigger job than just a finance package. So I think that was the other surprise for us that we confirmed with John when we met with John. So.
Also,
But I didn't see anything in Tyler that I thought was inappropriate.
I agree. I want to thank you, John, for sending me the process flow documents. I'm kind of wading through those so I can understand what they look like. I agree with Art. It is a very complete system. The issues that I have is I want to make sure that we have many audit point accesses. There's a great deal of audit traceability, and so that the outside auditors can really look through our system and make sure that there's a high degree of integrity. The other thing I wanted to look through is what type of cybersecurity they offered. And I wasn't familiar with the one standard that they cited, and I need to look that up. So those are the other things. But now the presentation was very professional. Thank you.
Any other questions, comments?
No, I think this is going to be a continuing activity for a while. I don't think it's going to be every meeting, but I think from time to time, John, as we make progress both in Central Square and in Tyler, that we'd like to have further meetings with you and help you, give you any resources that we can provide to make your life a little easier.
Okay. Thank you. If there are no more comments, we'll move to the last item here, which is, this was actually, the chair wanted us to review the committee work plan.
Mhm.
So I can pull it up and share my screen so it can be seen. So can you see the draft here?
Yes.
Yes.
So any corrections? I know that the chair called me earlier and said that he's proposing under the non-recurring goals to add the two subcommittees, which is a good point.
Okay.
So can capture what the budget subcommittee and the system subcommittee have reviewed. So we'll be adding those.
It would be nice if we could add cybersecurity up until the point where the city council decides to give it to somebody else, just so it doesn't fall through the cracks. And so that we will review the IT plan, the IT budget, and what is their direction to make sure that the city is secure.
I think that's good.
And perhaps we could do that quarterly, and in the short run, maybe even monthly, so that because I think our threats are pretty real.
Okay, I can discuss that. Anything else?
The only one that maybe I'm not understanding it properly is item number 9, investment policy. We had a target of May 2021, but we already looked at it on January of 2022. So is this target date on number 9, is that a historical date, or do we want to put in a May 22 date?
Correct. That was the target date. However, when I went back, I found that it was last reviewed in 2019. So I just left that date, but updated the actual date because
Okay.
we usually do it in just before June, in May or June, always the investment policy. But since it wasn't done for 2.5 years, I went and got an update done in January when we approved it. So just to be in line for this year's audit.
So do you think we want to have another one in May of 2022 is my question?
Yes, we should. So
yeah.
Okay.
That was the only one that I spotted that I thought was a little odd.
Yeah, it could be May. Since we did it in January, we could review it in January of 2022, unless we want to do it in 5 months.
Well, I like the idea of doing it before the end of the calendar year, or before the end of the fiscal year.
Yeah.
So I think May is better than January. Okay. It does require us to do a little more work, but I'm happy with that, or to have the the money manager do it, right?
We can do that.
Yeah, this year is going to be a little more interesting for bonds.
Yep.
Anything else on here that?
Nothing else bothered me.
Was there anything else you thought we should add, or things that you have historically done that might be missing from here? Because both June and me are relatively new, so we won't be sure if there's something that's come across but not listed.
The audit report, I don't see it on here.
It should be here, annual
Number 4.
comprehensive report.
Is number 4?
Number 4.
Comprehensive financial report. Okay, so that's the audit. Okay.
Yep.
Correct.
Camper.
We probably will have the single audit as well because we had we had the ARPA money. So that's something that would have to come in as well. But even though it can be recurring, in our case, we don't meet the requirement of getting more than 750,000. So it's an occasional audit only.
Okay,
So it can be under the non-recurring whenever it happens.
I seem to recall the committee debated a couple years ago whether we should do a 10-year plan.
We do have a review of a 10-year plan as well. Or you mean whether we should or shouldn't?
We shouldn't do it at all, as opposed to a thorough 5-year.
yep. My view is, I think I agree with Mark here that a 10-year plan is mostly a lot of busy work that doesn't really tell you much.
I second that idea. It's too far in the future where there are too many variables.
I don't remember the debate about this, but I agree with what's been said. It's a thorough 5-year plan, I think, is projecting far enough.
Nope.
Now, we could upgrade the 5-year capital improvement budget to include, ways and means as well as just the budget.
Yeah.
So that we could, obviously model forward the expected revenue and costs and see what it nets out to be.
Yep. And so I think, is it okay to just say, well, take item 7 and change the 10 to a 5?
That would have the same effect, yeah.
I like that.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope, nothing from me this art.
I think that's fine.
I'm good.
I'm good.
Okay. Moving on to the last item, which is basically staff announcements or any other announcements that are there. So I know we had originally planned to bring the FY23 budget to the commission on this meeting, but we haven't been able to complete the internal gathering of data and a few other things that the city manager is working on. So we probably are going to bring all of that on May 16th to the commission.
Fine.
And then in June to the full council.
With that budget, will we get detail on the 1.4 million for IT?
On the 1.4?
Yeah, that, as I recall, in the preliminary review, there was 1.4 million budgeted for IT spending. And it was mostly just a line item and it didn't really have any detail.
It did have it on the CIP sheet. So the way it's done here is it's done along with the CIP. So on the 5-year CIP that we had, I can actually pull that up. What went on at the last time.
Well, I'm not sure we need it right now, do we? I think all we're saying is that when you come to us in May, that we'd like to see some detail at the department level.
That's correct.
I'm
I'm not putting it on the spot right now. I'm just saying it would be nice to see detail of that.
Yeah, we do have the technology fund in the CIP showing what projects are under it, and we can elaborate that in the full presentation as well.
Great, that'll be good. Thank you.
Hey, John, can I just ask for that if we're going to push it to May, that you try to get that out a little earlier than the normal posting? I'm not criticizing the normal posting, but it'd be nice to have a little bit of time so everybody can spend an hour with it
Right.
in advance. So whatever you can do on it, a little bit more time with it's, in my mind, a little better, more important than the last bit of perfection.
Even if it comes in parts, it's helpful. because then we could go through the parts.
Yeah, we'll try to get it out as soon as we can. There are a lot of moving pieces on this one because a lot of things have not gone through the pipeline. Some things have to go through closed session as well, because they also presented a new compensation philosophy that needs to, it's kind of the chicken and egg, right? It needs to get discussed before it gets incorporated into the budget. So
That
there are a
makes
few
sense.
things that I'm waiting on.
Will we get detail on the legal budget?
Yes.
Good.
Good.
Yes, I think there'll be some good news there.
Good to hear.
From your lips to God's ears.
That concludes what I had to say on the budget. I'm not sure if the commissioners had any questions on anything else. I know we will be calling on the subcommittee on the budget, Commissioner Gary and Richmond, once Gabe has everything lined up. I know we're still trying to collect a lot of data from, we're scrubbing the department budgets as well, more than that they have been used to. So that's been a time-consuming process trying to get them in line. So I think we'll have some good things to look at when we meet you both. So
I'm around.
Yep.
Yep.
So it's going to be probably early May.
Okay.
Okay. And I'll reach out to both of you with a few dates.
Yeah, let's try to get it, because I have travel the rest of this week, and then I think I'm around for the first couple of weeks of May, but let's try to circle
Yeah,
something.
it would have to be in that probably first week or late first week, because on the 16th we have the full commission. So we have to fix most of the things that we have with you guys before we write the report.
Oh, okay. Well, then let me burden you with right now, because I realized it just got wrong. I'm out from the 4th through the 8th. So if you can't do the 3rd, can we do it on the 9th? We can follow up separately.
9th?
Yeah, can you do the 9th, or is that too late?
9th should be okay.
All right, let's circle the 9th, because I misspoke. I'm out from the 4th through the 8th. So why don't we suggest the 9th?
Or you could be here on the 2nd or 3rd.
Yeah, 2nd or 3rd, and then I'm heading out of town afternoon of the 4th, not back till the end of the weekend.
Commissioner Gary, those work for you too? 2nd, 3rd,
I'm
or
fine.
9th?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm here. I'm retired. I got nothing else to do.
We can use your help at City Hall.
Yeah. I'm good with a hammer, but I don't like plywood. Sorry, Art. I had to.
I mostly like it, but I have learned a new respect.
Not today.
Yeah. So John, I do have one question as we end up here that's not really commission business, but something that I'm working on with the city. So you're aware that we have the CEPG, the Community Emergency Preparedness Grant Program, and I've been working on that with Chief Galea and Captain Kraus. And we have a list of the things that we want to get for this plan sometime before the June 30th date. The question I had was, what is the, I had assumed that we had to have purchased and received anything that needs to be included in this fiscal year. It has to be received, give you a few days at least by June 15th or something like that. But they're thinking that maybe we can have it on order, but not yet received. And that sounded odd to me. So
it depends if it is related to the previous year. We have a few options on how we can do that. We can have the PO open, and as long as it's paid within that, or within the 60 days after the end of the year.
Okay, and it'll certainly happen there. Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
We could book it to the prior fiscal year, or the other alternate would be we encumber it and carry it over to the new year.
Okay,
Yes,
well,
yeah.
I'll try not to make it difficult for you. We'll see if we get most of it bought and paid for, or at least bought and recorded as accounts payable before then. We'll see
Yeah,
what we
that
do.
would be ideal.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Okay,
So nothing further. Should we
we ready to adjourn?
adjourn?
This is a record.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we got rid of Coach G. Look what happened.
Okay, great.
Meeting adjourned. Huh?
All right.
Okay.
See
Thanks,
see everybody
guys.
in May. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Good night.
All right. Bye-bye.